Let's get that music going.
Classic.
Dude, just close your eyes and just hit one. See what happens. Just do it. Boop. Now, go. Whatever that is. Go. Yeah. Boom. I like that.
It's like we have a real studio audience.
Yeah. Or just like...
Welcome to the Dan, Anton, and Brad show.
Actually, nice, dude.
Closing crew.
That's right. We are the closing crew. Yeah, dude. We're the bad boys up to no good.
That's right.
The closing crew. Gentlemen, we have Bradley and Anton Laz Holmes and Dan. And we are the closing crew. And we're talking real estate, all things real estate.
A little bit of real estate.
A little bit, yeah. Mostly just tangents.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Life lessons.
Life lessons, that's right.
Things that get Dan canceled.
Yeah. Just regret. It's just pain and regret. That's what this podcast is about. Pain, regret, off-color jokes, all those things. We are on episode 10.
Double digits.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
I think I wonder if we've doubled our viewership.
No, highly. Oh, yeah. 2.
In progress.
Yeah, dude. It's all good. It's all good. We're on 10. We're vets now at this point. So today's topic, gentlemen, Brad actually brought up, right? When a client purchases a home, right? And they ask you like, hey, like, well, what do I do as a homeowner now? Like, what are some home maintenance tips or things that maybe people don't think about, like a new home buyer, that you guys in your experience would suggest to your clients?
Yeah, so this got brought up because I did have a client a few months ago make a purchase on a home, and obviously a first-time home buyer. So he's just asking me like, okay, like what should I keep an eye out with my home? Like what should I do annually to just make sure it's in good shape? And I'm like, I have no idea, man. Why are you asking me?
It's like, wait, you bought a house?
Yeah. Here's Dan's number. Call Dan.
Was I a part of this?
But I mean, I gave him kind of a list of things. For me personally, what I told him is like, I mean, the really easy thing is obviously like your gutters, right? That's something that people kind of let go, and it's really easy to do yourself that you should definitely do, especially since we've been getting a lot of rain over the last few years.
Yep.
But I think the biggest tip that I give people that I stick to is every 5 years, I actually do a property inspection on my house.
Okay.
Because
like
I'm not
general inspection?
Yeah. Because I'm not a handy guy. Dan is definitely handy. Anton's pretty handy as well too. But I'll have an inspector come to the house and just do his thing. Yeah. And he'll, at the end, they give you a summary of all their findings. And I always ask them, like, if this was your house, what would you take care of?
Right.
And so that's really helpful for me because, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I can clean the gutter, things like that. But like my furnace, things, my roof, like, so especially with a single family home, I think it's really important to every few years get that inspection done, just so you can stay on top of things that come up before they become more expensive and more problematic.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, I would suggest the same, especially if the home is older.
Yeah.
Right. On a newer home, I don't know if that's super like.
Yeah, definitely not a newer home. Townhome or condo, even probably not worth it.
No, I don't think so. I think though, using the original home inspection results from the disclosures, using that as a baseline. Yeah. If there's nothing major on it, I think that's great. And then just use that as like a maintenance checklist. But just to kind of touch on the gutter part though, do you know why you're supposed to clean out the gutter? Like
two things, at least that I can think of, is one, once your gutters start to sag, it impacts the roof.
Yep.
And then 2, I mean, I've had it where the gutter does get clogged, and then you have sitting water there, which is freaking hella nasty, right? When you have to clean that. So
it happened to me too at the Perry Lane. So like I just installed the brand new gutters. I mean, when we just moved in, and then also like because there is so much vegetation where we live, like, and it gets clogged so bad, so it actually come off from the roof, from the siding.
Oh yeah.
So I had to fix that, and then I'm like, oh man, there's like no way, like every year I'm gonna like pay someone like, you know, to clean the gutters. And then like I installed those guards.
Mm-hmm.
And those guards, man, it's a game changer.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's like
they're great.
since I
Sure.
installed those guards,
Yep.
like I've never had any issues
Yep.
with the drainage, like, you know, from the roof or
Mhm.
like cleaning up the gutters.
Yep.
It's just amazing. And the investment was also not that expensive. I think
Yeah.
like for all the gutters, I think it was like extra like $800. Like when I don't know, like
Just-
8 years ago, like labor and materials. So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
probably now it's more expensive.
Did you
but-
get it on Amazon or did you have
no,
somebody-
I called the same guy who installed the gutters,
Okay.
and then I'm like, so do you have those guards as well? Because I think he did suggest it to me. I'm like kind of new to construction and everything. I'm like, nah, like I don't need that.
It's great.
And then
yeah.
100% recommend
100%.
it.
Yep. And it's a good DIY project too. I helped one of my clients. We installed new gutters
Yeah.
and the gutter guards, right?
Mhm.
And it was like maybe 2 hours of work. And
Yeah.
Was it Matt?
it was Matt. Yeah.
Every time you say you helped a client on a big project, I always think of Matt.
Yeah.
We should
Because he
invite
did
Matt.
amazing with this property. It
Yeah.
looks so
Yeah,
cool.
I
We gotta go. I
I
gotta take
have
you
to
guys
see
over
it
there.
because I remember when you were out of town, I think
Mhm.
I had to open the door for him or something like that, right when he bought it.
Yeah, it was
so-
a terrible property,
Yeah.
but now it's
Oh, really?
amazing. Oh yeah, it
So
looks so good.
what did he do there?
Dude, everything. It's like that's an episode in itself. I think actually we should probably bring Matt on.
Yeah?
And then, yeah.
I
think
remember
that's
him
what we're
telling
talking
me
about.
his vision. I was like, wow, that's great.
He pulled it off.
Yeah,
Like there's
that's
still
great.
some things left, but over the years, like he's done some. We built his custom barbecue setup too. We poured the concrete, and
Damn.
everything too. It
Oh my God.
looks super cool.
Why don't you build shit for us, man? The
Yeah,
hell?
I
Has he
don't-
built anything
I
for
don't-
you?
I don't care about you guys.
No.
No.
He only took Bob away.
But yeah, dude, like it's yeah, so that's right. Like I think it's like an overlooked thing because you think, oh, it's just gutters, right? But yeah, if those things are clogged up and just the additional weight, now you're pulling on the siding.
Yeah.
Now like even the fasteners are, loosening up a bit. You're getting more moisture inside. It can really it's more impactful than you think.
Water is
So.
like the ultimate, like
Oh yeah.
worst thing
Yeah.
to a house.
Especially
yeah.
with the way that we
The water
construct homes
damage.
in the Bay, in
Yeah.
America, actually,
Yeah.
because we use a lot of like lower grade, like timber, right? And then also we use metal fasteners, which is common, right? So whenever you take two different materials that expand and contract at different rates, and you have every season change, even in California where we don't get like massive, like weather events, it's still it's hell
Yeah.
on the home. So whatever you can do to prevent as much wear and tear as possible is definitely recommended. So you said, so I like that approach. Is there anything that you tell your clients in particular, in general, that you let them know, or?
So I mean, what I would tell them now after all the experiences.
Yeah.
So I would also say, furnace, like a check on the furnace, because actually just happened in the Perry Lane, like the second guest
man.
who checked in, and I did hear that the blower was making funny noises, like metal noises. So in the heating, the furnace stopped working.
Oh.
Like they're like, oh, we set up on 72, but it's still stuck at 65 or something. I'm like, that's strange. So eventually, like the blower actually went bad. So I had to go and buy like a portable heaters for each room, and then deliver to them. And then the following Monday, when they checked out, actually sent AC guy, and then the whole blower went bad. But things got like he was able to find the part, So
how old is that system?
like 8 years. It was like a
Oh.
brand new when we. I know I like probably 9. Like when we remodeled Perry,
Right.
like the whole overhaul. So that's when we put the new furnace.
Right.
And also the water heaters. So I talked to him. I'm like, so okay, like how would I prevent this, like from happening? He's like, oh yeah, you should do like annual checks, like
Annual checks.
yeah, it's like just to check if everything is okay. And then same thing he say like for the water heater. I think it was another house where a water heater broke down too, and it was not that old. Like the lifespan was still there.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking him, so why is it went bad? He's like, oh, you have to flash it every year too, because there is like all the
Sediment.
rust
Right.
accumulates on the bottom,
Right,
and if you
yeah.
don't flash it out, it actually also goes inside your pipes too. And then like I would say, like sometimes when you get the new house and you're like, oh okay, everything is fine. If everything works, like you just don't care about it.
Right.
But I mean, sometimes it can cut your lifespan like almost in half if you don't check those things. So same thing with the AC just happened also in Hawaii.
Man.
Like there's so much stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
So AC went bad, and then I sent one guy like he's like, okay, so probably just have to clean them. So he started cleaning them. He's like, so you never cleaned your AC? I'm like, why are you asking that? He's like, well, I found frogs inside the
Frogs?
Yeah, so
What?
somehow he's like the frogs were living inside the outside one, the
Oh,
condenser.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it was also like accumulate the water there. He's like, there are frogs there, and then when he cleaned up the drain, he's like,
Oh, you're talking about for the house?
yeah, for the house.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like in the condo. I was like,
Oh
how
no
do
no
they
no
get
oh
up
no
there?
no not in the condo. Yeah, in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a single family home, like 5 bedrooms. So like there's like a big unit. I think it's like 36 BTU.
Yeah.
So he cleaned that up. He said like the frogs were living there. He's like, I let them in the garden, and then when he cleaned up the drainage, from the units inside, so it was like a skeleton from from lizard or something.
What the
I
hell?
found a
Yeah.
dead body.
Well, I mean, it's Hawaii too, next to
Yeah,
the
that's
ocean.
true.
There's
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much stuff going on.
Yep.
And he's like, well, this is also especially next to the ocean. If you have a property next to the ocean, he said like every year is like if you clean this, because I think this whole system is maybe like 4 or 3 years old, and now like it's completely rusted.
Right.
So I have to like replace the whole condenser now unit outside, or like replace the coil. But this coil is like almost impossible to find, and like labor probably going to cost also almost like it's the whole brand new unit.
Oh, jeez.
So, but I mean, yeah. So that's that.
Frogs and lizards.
I know, like
Did
living
they
like,
find any monkeys or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like
and I mean,
I don't think they have monkeys in Hawaii.
No, that's true.
yeah. But I mean, and same thing with the condos too. Like even those small units,
Yeah.
I would clean them at least like I don't know, every year or every second year, because
Yeah.
one started leaking too, and then he told me like I said the same guy, and like because all this water and the moisture and the salt air, I guess,
Right.
as like the inside in this water pan becomes like a gel or something,
Right.
and it's just like restrict the like this evaporating process. There's like it's had a hard time, and then it starts
It's
leaking, and then
humid, too.
and
Yeah.
then start leaking, inside the unit or in your balcony. So those things, I would say like the furnace, water heater, and like AC. If you have those mini splits or something, I would definitely recommend like just to check on them once a year, or maybe hopefully like every second year. I know it's a hustle, and then you forget about those things, but
Those three things always break in the most inconvenient time
Ex-
too. That
exactly.
and smoke alarms too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smoke. Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning. It's
Right.
going
oh,
off,
the
right?
battery,
Yeah.
So that's why in this home actually I wired it.
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Because like those batteries, like in Pearland, I had like those nests with the batteries,
Right.
and it's like at night.
Yeah.
They're supposed to last 10 years and they never do.
Yep.
What? No, I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
the lithium
yeah,
ones, the newer ones, they say 10 years because it's all on
I
lithium.
know, but
But then if you switch them all at the same, so I would say like if you're gonna like have them all installed at the same time,
Yeah.
So at least okay, if one goes out, just replace all of them,
Right.
And then you're done.
With the furnace though, our furnace is pretty old. So over the last like 5 or 6 years, I've had a guy come out twice a year, basically, just to do a routine maintenance, just to extend that life a little bit longer, so I don't have to buy a new one. But
Right.
The worst thing is when the heater or AC breaks, like during the summer or winter. And all the vendors at that time are totally booked up, right? So
exactly.
it's a pain.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think more along the lines of, because I think we've been talking about like catastrophic failures. I think, and it's hard to anticipate those.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like that's why it's catastrophic. Like they're not supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
But like along the terms of like maintenance, I think if a client were to ask me that, I would say there's a lot of stuff that people don't do that they should. It's a big deal. Like every year, I would just mark it on like once a year or twice a year. Just change your air filters in your, in your return, because that will. It's such a small thing. It's so easy. Just buy like a pack of them on Amazon or Home Depot or whatever.
Yep.
And then switch that out. And then that'll extend the life of your HVAC system drastically because you're not constricting the flow. It just doesn't have to work as hard.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I mean, not just that, but also like a clean air
Get a HEPA
inside
filter.
the house. Yeah, I mean, I do it all the time, but I have like a reminder, you know, like from Nest, if you have a Nest thermostat, it gives you like a message to replace the filter. Yeah. And yeah, same thing. I just bought like 10, 20 packs and every time I get it, like really quick, replace it.
Right. And it's super easy. Like that is a great DIY thing for somebody. Like even that it's not handy, you know, you save like $100 or whatever.
But I remember like when I got the Tahoe home and I also did the same thing. Oh, like, I have to replace the filter since, you know, like all the constructions is over. Man, this filter, I think it was original, like when they installed the furnace. The buildup was like that. Like I think something was living there for sure. It's like it was insane. I'm like, oh my god,
terrible.
Yeah, you had frogs in that one.
Yeah, there were probably rats in that. In top.
Yeah, but yeah, duct cleaning too. Like I think people need to do that.
Right? Oh yeah.
I've heard so many stories. Because like I mean, the air we breathe, we just take it for granted. But so for instance, like Hannah's like childhood home was in a liquefaction zone, and I'm pretty sure like they just had like black mold in their crawl space, probably. Man. You know, and so I'm a stickler for this now. Actually, I just had it showed a property for a client in Hayward, and they had some massive like foundation issues there, and she was like, "Oh, so yeah, the foundation is the problem, right?" And I'm like, "Well, more than that, I'm more concerned about all this mold because even looking at the photos, like it's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen." You know, because in the foundation, there was just like a lack of airflow. So for decades, it's just moisture. That's just like a cesspool, you know? But in Hannah's old house, like her mom had some respiratory issues. And actually, I remember like Hannah used to have like a weird cough too. Yeah. But then once they moved to Almaden and sold that house and bought like a newer house in Almaden, guess what? The coughing went away. So I'm pretty sure it had spores and stuff, right? So it's one of those things where it's like you can't pinpoint, right? But I think for new home buyers, especially if you have small kids or if you have asthma or something, definitely spend a lot of time clearing out your ducts every year, right? Yeah.
How would you recommend cleaning your ducts yourself, or you hire someone?
No, well, so the maintenance part would be like replacing the return filter. You got to do that, right? Yeah. And get like a. So the other thing people do is they'll just throw the filter in there. But what I would say is make sure that it fits well, because sometimes the fitting isn't good.
Oh yeah, you should definitely like see the measurements for your filter.
Even if you get the right size, sometimes there's slop, right? So if you do, they sell like small foam, right, at Home Depot. Just make sure you get a good seal, right? Because otherwise, you know, you're not really filtering anything. So do that. That's something you can do. In terms of duct cleaning, hire a professional and have them clean the ducts, because you know, if you have kids, especially depending on what kind of ducts you have, like if they're in the floors, like stuff's dropping in there, whatever, and you're breathing that stuff in.
100%. Yeah, because for this home, when we finish construction, also I hired a professional to clean up the ducts. Yeah. And oh my God, because this home, everything is under the house, not on top. And they told me usually on the top is better, is more cleaner. But when it's go under the house, you know, sometimes there is a hole or something. So they had to patch up so many things. And then when they clean it, there was so much dirt inside. So if I would have not done it, and I also like, you know, because like we here with Tao's parents and Athena, it would be like the air quality would be like horrible. Yeah.
Like, think about it like this too. If you have a compromised duct underneath your house and you have like a gas leak or whatever, even if you have your return and everything good to go, you're sucking in all that toxic stuff from the exterior of the house into your house. Right? So that's why they say like for maintenance, like duct maintenance is super important. I would definitely highly recommend that. Gutters, right? We talked about that.
Duct cleaning is really good. Like I didn't even think about that, to be honest. I think we did it once, like when we bought the house, but ever since then I just totally forgot about it.
Yeah, you should. It's just a healthier thing. Yeah. I don't think you're gonna see, like, your life's not gonna change, you know. Yeah. But it's a good habit.
Yeah. And I have a good guy actually for that too.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, a guy for everything.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is when they do the duct cleaning, like just have them measure too the output, you know, the CPM, I think they call it. per duct because a lot of homes actually aren't optimized.
Yeah.
So that's why you turn the heater on, and then some rooms get hotter than the other ones,
Yeah,
whatever.
they can adjust it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was a new home buyer, I'd probably have that checked, and then they can install dampers to even out. And that's way it's more efficient too. You're not wasting as much energy because some people they're like, oh, my master bedroom gets so cold it doesn't. They have to blast it, so the rest of the house is super hot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. And then the duct that people forget about, which is important too, is for your dryer, the lint trap.
Yeah.
Right. So people always change the lint trap, but then they don't change the exhaust. And then I've seen so many exhaust ducting where it's just not done well. So there's too many right angles and whatever. And if you just get a buildup for like 6 months or whatever, that thing can be fully clogged.
Yep.
And then that's going back, and it can cause some issues. It can actually be dangerous, like fires can start.
Yeah.
So when the ducting gets cleaned out, then I would also make sure that the vendors include the exhaust ducting for your dryer too.
The dryer thing I do actually probably once a year.
Yeah. I'd say it's more
It's
than
pretty
enough.
easy. Yeah.
Oh, you do it yourself?
Yeah. Pull the dryer out, unhook it or whatever.
Brad
and
just sucks it out
Yeah.
and just eats it.
Definitely not. I get a leaf blower and I just blow in there and just.
Oh, the blower,
Yeah.
like a garden blower. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's a good
kind of
idea.
does the job. And then like on the other end, outside the house, you'll see.
Yeah.
But then I've learned to just get a garbage bag and just tie it around that.
Yeah.
And then it goes
That's
all
cool.
into the garbage bag.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do that.
Yeah.
Not very professional, but I guess the job.
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Hey,
I like
no,
this.
it's props to you because
Yeah.
most people don't do that.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing too is in terms of maintenance, once a year, like take a look under your sinks, right? Because I think a lot of people they kind of treat that area as like no man's land. So they might have like dish detergent stuff, or whatever, but they don't look behind it. And I've seen situations where like it'll just be moist, just have like a little drip or whatever. And that's the worst kind of drip, right? That's the worst kind of leak because those small leaks can do more damage because of the growth, like black mold and all that. Like I would rather have a major leak that I can fix and deal with versus like an eye drop worth of water every day that you just never notice.
Right.
And then behind the walls, like, dude, Satan's spawn is just growing back there. And just, it's like infiltrating your lungs and ruining your life. You're like, why am I getting these migraines? Probably black mold.
Always
So drastic. Yeah. And then you die. So that's why,
Yeah.
But I'd say like those are probably some off the top of my head that I can think of where,
Yeah. Another thing I always do every year, I clean the windows. I hire the window guy who's cleaning inside outside because it's, in California, especially like after rain season, like, all this dust settles and it looks like so like foggy.
Yeah.
And then like after I do it once a year, but then it's like day and night difference. It's like, it's so nice.
Yeah.
So I do that as well.
Especially the skylights, right? Like it's always nice to get those cleaned out.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Another maintenance thing that I just remembered is so people think that painting the exterior of a home is aesthetic. It's like, oh, I just want it to look nice, right? But actually, you want to make sure that you have a fresh coat because it's actually water sealing your home, right? So if you don't have, even if your home looks okay, but if the paint's old and you have some compromised areas, like in corners especially like higher up, nobody's really looking at that.
Yeah.
You're opening yourself up to dry rot, right? And then that can be super expensive, especially if you have like some kind of like siding, know, that. So that's another maintenance thing that people will push off, but it's actually pretty important. Yeah.
For sure.
In terms of maintenance. Yeah. And then, just walking through your home and just understanding, like if you see water settling, then I would definitely look into just making sure drainage is up to par, like because like any kind of water settling, like that's definitely an issue. That could cause some problems. And the last thing I guess I'm trying to think of like the things where they're just things that people don't pay attention to that could cause problems.
A pool. I would say if you have a pool, I mean, it's also important to have like maintenance if you do want to use pool properly.
Yeah.
Because
and
like
to not like if you don't use it, people think, oh, I just won't use it.
Yeah, it's gonna turn green for sure. Yeah. So
and
you have
pool
to
repair bills. Oh,
yeah.
man, they can be so much too. So you want to stay on top of that. For sure.
100%. I think that's most of the time where the people bury the pool because they think, oh, okay, you know, I don't want to pay for the pool guy and do the maintenance, and eventually turns green and it's like the whole equipment goes bad.
Yeah.
And to replace that is thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, screw it. You're just gonna bury the pool and cover it. Yeah.
The reason why too pools go bad so bad is because like people don't run the pumps when they're not using it.
Yeah.
You got to keep them on all the time. Because
it should be on like you should set the schedule
constantly. Yeah.
So when it's running and run all the filters. Yeah.
Because what happens is if you don't, right, then the gaskets change sizes, right, and then that's what causes leaks, and then the leaks expand.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. Even with like homes with like a toilet that you should, if let's say there's a toilet you never use, like just flush it once a week. Like keep water running through those things. Otherwise, if you don't, like that's when like the leaks happen. That's when that's why like a home that's been neglected, like an abandoned, those fall apart so much faster than you think.
Yeah.
The other thing, sorry, I just keep thinking of these things. Trees on your property, right? Make sure that an arborist goes out to your trees and checks them once a year, every other year. Just make sure that they're healthy, because I've seen so many trees where I'll be like, that tree's sick.
Yeah.
It's like gonna fall down. They're like, oh yeah, I was wondering. I just keep watering it. I'm like, it's dead. And then, you get closer. You're like, dude, this thing in a bad storm, this could fall over. And it's going to kill your whole family.
Oh my God. Well,
it's going to fall into your bedroom and kill you.
That happened last season right here. Like
There
next
you go.
door, the huge tree just fell like on the house. Like in the
Kill
middle.
the family?
No, I didn't think so. It actually went.
could've, though.
It went on the bedroom, but on that time they were actually in the kitchen. Thanks God, all of them. But it's like it's huge tree too.
Yeah.
But like, or the roots, like it's the tree looked fine. But so I don't know how would you predict that. But like based on that,
but that's why I'm saying you need an arborist, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's why to get the health of all the trees checked once every couple of years, because we joke about it, but it could have killed that family.
I'm just thinking it's funny, like the new home buyers, they're like, what?
Yeah.
Furnace, trees, gutters.
Yeah, we've done a good
pools?
job of talking people out of buying a home.
Well,
Like, I'm never gonna buy a home.
like in the grand scheme of things, like these are things that do need to be addressed, but they're not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're not doing this every morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just do it like just if you have a checklist, and for us, like we'll help our clients, right?
Yeah.
So if you're concerned,
Call Dan Saka at
like we'll walk you through this, right?
Yeah.
And we'll let them know. But it's not that big of a deal.
And also certain things I would say you can do it yourself. It doesn't mean like you always have to pay the vendors to do all of those things.
Yeah. YouTube.
I mean, YouTube, there is so many things. Actually, that reminds me also on the dishwasher.
Right.
Like, wash your dishwasher maybe once a year with those things. It helps you. Otherwise, it's also leaking and you have to replace the whole dishwasher.
Yeah.
But
I
mean,
and if you need a like a lint trap cleaned out, Brad will go to your house and suck it out for you.
blow it up.
Should never have brought that one up.
From now on, you're just gonna get calls and be like, "Hey, dude, I know a guy where he'll just personally just suck it out for you." It's a very holistic business. No electricity. You just need to give him a hamburger, just feed him whatever, and then he'll just come in and just suck it out for you.
Give him hamburgers. Come on, man.
Well, whatever.
I'm a vegan.
Salad.
No, I'm not a vegan,
You
by the way.
just get him a Caesar salad and a Diet Sprite, and he'll suck it out for you for free.
And then when Brett is done, he's going to put a magnet on the drum.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I have to buy home.
You're right, yeah. Oh, man. Remember that guy that sucked out our lint trap a couple years ago?
Always got to sell, man.
Always
Always
works.
got to sell.
Nice.
Yeah. It's, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's that's just home ownership.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson is, you're protecting the biggest investment you probably make, right?
Exactly,
So you got to have these preventative measures in place. You can't just let it go.
Yeah.
No.
It's easier to let Brad suck out your ducts than to like put a fire out at your house.
Yes.
So it's like, what would you rather have? Brad sucking ducks out all day.
I never even said that's what I did, by the way. Like how it got twisted. Like the whole.
He's just so good at it.
We can talk about the frogs and the monkeys and the lizards.
Yeah.
Do you have an electric dryer or is it gas?
Ours is electric.
Electric.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just curious if you like gas. How you do that? You have to, I guess, turn off the gas
Oh yeah.
to pull it out.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you're for sure. You want to be
Yeah. Don't mess around
those gas lines aren't meant to be like moved in a lot.
Moved a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like electric is more common these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the commercial ones and like higher powered ones, I think gas is probably more.
Yeah. I think I have a gas at Perry. Now
Oh,
I'm
really?
thinking of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
All right.
I think we did a good job of covering all the maintenance items of a house and talking people out of buying a house. So
Yeah, I think like, I don't think the purpose too is to like arm the listeners with everything they need to do.
yeah.
I think also just to kind of let them start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And just like be like, okay, I need to look into this and just have like a checklist or a plan.
Yeah.
And that will help your life immensely.
Yep.
It'll increase your happiness by 50 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially if you do have a single family home, an older one,
Mm-hmm.
and if you've lived in it for quite some time, it is a good idea, even if you're not planning on selling, to get a property inspection and
Mm-hmm.
just have an expert or somewhat of an expert take a look at all those things and let you know if there's anything you need to address.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
All right.
All right, fellas, let's close it out. Always good to see you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Oh, you gotta end it like that.
That's a new thing, huh?
That's a good one.
See, that was a good flow. You weren't worried about it.
Yeah, it's like